And faces off with Iran-Contra investigators and often
I'm not going to tell falsehoods to the American people. I'll leave that to others. I'll leave that to others. I'll leave that to others.
The biggest unanswered question is, where is the money? The biggest unanswered question is, where is the money?
All you young boys, organize, unite your troops for guerrilla combat. Free your minds, and your ass will follow. Young soldier, attention. Who are you?
Soldier. I'm soldier. I'm soldier. I'm soldier.
Surely
A man is in love.
Yeah, man. The heat of the nightmare continues. Now, y'all don't get the little play on words, like we're talking about America and the great American dream is turning into a nightmare. Has been a nightmare. We were just under illusion, talking about my black people. We were just under illusion that we were going to partake of the great American dream. I seen a black brother on YouTube talking about Chicago, all the shootings in Chicago. And he said, you can't blame this on the white man. Man, the white man is the one that we take after. Even you. Yeah, I pay my taxes. I'm trying, because you done got a little paper, man. Some paper that don't mean nothing. And you got a little gold on you, dripping in gold a little bit. And, you tripping, man. America's broke. You owe trillions of dollars. It trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. Wars breaking out. The war's getting ready to escalate. You don't know if it's going to be a draft or nothing. And if you got any teenage children, they got to go. So you're going to be a good citizen. You're going to volunteer your sons and daughters sign up for the draft, go over there and kill up people that ain't never called you a nigger, ain't never lynched your ancestors. They over there in their own land trying to fight off the Caucasian. Man, y'all tripping, man. Now you could run that game on the lame game on these youngsters, man, but you can't run it on an old timer like myself. You sound like a fool, man. Yeah, we kill up each other, but the white man be killing up all our leaders, presidents, Lincoln. They assassinated Lincoln, assassinated. At least we don't kill up the president. Y'all and white people, they don't care if we kill up each other. And you don't either, man. These are people who are lost in the heat of the nightmare. Thinking, they did a survey in New York. They did the whole state of New York. How many poor cities, Buffalo and Rochester and all those cities, they're below poverty level, unemployment. They did one on Vegas, homeless living on the streets of Vegas. They was telling us how they when I think an ambassador, one of the Chinese ambassadors came over to visit uh, Los Angeles. I think that's where it was at. How they cleaned the streets up just for to impress this Chinese ambassador. Y'all don't find that, y'all don't find all this it ain't our fault, man. It's the politicians, man. And we were programmed. We were programmed, brother. If we weren't programmed, we would be talking our own language. We have our original names. Yeah, we'll know what our language is. We'll be talking two languages like the rest of them do. When you go to the gas station and it's a foreign-born Muslim, so-called Muslim in the gas station, they be talking in Arabic around each other with you there. And that's your language. That's your language, man. That's an African language. So it's Hebrew. Now you know what the meaning of when someone say he's an Arab. Do you know what that means? The word Arab, it means one who dwells in the desert. In tents. And the word Hebrew, that word Hebrew means to cross over. That's not a religion. That's a transit word. Just like Arabic. Arabic is a transit word. One who dwells in the desert, in tents. And there are those who dwell in the desert. There are those who have oases. There are those who have farms. There are those who dwell in cities. And they were calling themselves by the tribal name, like the Koish, That's the tribe of the Mustafa, the Prophet Mustafa Muhammad came from the Koish tribe, and there were other tribes over there. And they didn't call themselves Arab. They didn't call themselves Arab. No, they didn't call themselves Arab. They went by their tribal name. Same with Hebrew. They are akin to those two languages, Hebrew and Arabic, are akin to each other. English, we say peace be unto you. In Arabic, we say assalamu alaikum. In Hebrew, we say shalom alaikum. That's a black language. That's an African language. Now, those people over there in Israel, they calling themselves Semitic. And they mostly, they up around Europe, man. They come from Europe, man. Those are the first to come out the caves. And then they became Greek. They went over and settled in Grecians. They call themselves Grecians. But it was black people over in Greece, you know. And all of that, man, was black. The whole planet was black. I'm not going to get off into that. But it's getting dangerous out here, man. And I want to, I want to put some game up under you. I want you to recognize game. See, game recognize game. Especially you young ones. You know, because y'all half out your minds right now. Some of y'all are. I mean, y'all don't, a lot of y'all in college, hoping that you can get a job working for the white man in one of them big computer companies. Some of you inspired to go to Wall Street. And, a lot of y'all want to just wear suit and ties, and y'all don't want to do too much labor, you just want to, get a job. But right about now, ain't too many jobs happening. That's why they're talking about poor cities in New York. New York is crashing. Then you got all these migrants, what they want. So you got to recognize game, y'all. But this is what your government that you vote for it all the time, like a fool, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the citizens, especially the black citizens, to clash with the migrant. That's why they're giving the migrants all these benefits. They said for Thanksgiving in New York, I think that was New York, that they usually give away free food. And they tell you to be there at a certain time in the morning. And they usually come at that time. But the migrants got hip to it. And they came earlier, than the citizens did, the regular so-called citizen, because the black man is really not a citizen. That's an illusion. And so it was almost a food fight. They were almost fighting over the food. And so they want to get y'all fighting each other. Then call in the National Guards to settle it. They say in Chicago, they shooting up each other, they robbing stores, on Thanksgiving. So we're in the heat of the nightmare, man. We're in the heat of the nightmare, like the nightmare on Elm Street. And so y'all walking around numb, young and dumb and numb, scared the truth. You're going to have to get some knowledge of yourself. And that's what I'm here for. I am an FOI soldier in the Nation of Islam. My duty is to unite my people, black people. My word is my bond, and I will give my life before my word shall fail. This was the mission of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And what them brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam failed to realize that Your father, if he's a good parent, he don't raise his children to depend on him forever. Your mother and father, they don't raise you to depend on them forever. They want to give you wings of knowledge and education so you can learn how to fly, so you can fly on your own, just like a bird. They feed their children in the nest, going get them worms and stuff. And then when they get a certain age, they got to leave the nest. They got to learn how to fly. That's how the Creator is, your Father. You know, your Father, he he's standing by for you. You know, he might catch your fall. If you one of them slow learners, he might catch your fall. But I know you didn't see a whole lot of little baby birds, little baby sparrows that couldn't fly that hit the ground and then broke their wings. Them birds would just leave their ass there. Let a cat eat them up or something, dog or something. I done nursed a whole lot of little birds, till they could fly, and pigeons or whatever, But them brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad left us, peace and blessings be upon him. When he told the brothers and sisters, he said, I can't choose a successor. He said, that's up to Allah. I didn't choose myself. Allah chose me. And that's how all the prophets were chosen. There was no successors. And the Sunni Muslims, the Shiite Muslims, and Sufi Muslims, they think when you die, you're going to go to heaven. That's it, man. You don't know. Because ain't nobody ever came back and told you that it's nice up in heaven. And a lot of you Christians think that the resurrection of the dead, meaning that your mother and father and grandma and all them, it's going right when the trumpet blow, they're going to come out the grave. And all y'all, going to be in heaven together. It's talking about what you in now, in the heat of the nightmare. You in a grave because you don't have the real knowledge of who you are. That you are the Creator's original children. The Creator's DNA is in the black man. We're the original people of the planet Earth. All these other races, because we're not a race. We're not in a race. Because we was always here. There's no beginning or no ending for us. They can't prove our birth record, how long the black man been on Earth. All they know is all the time they dig up in the earth looking for those archaeologists, looking for artifacts. They pull up bones of a black man. They could study those bones and find out that he was black. all over the planet. There are statues, ancient statues, uh, stone statues of us with African features, being black, you know. And so God want to see if you would chip off the old block. He want to, I mean, Allah, I don't want to use that word God too much, but Allah want to see if you're going to be like him or not. So he nourishes you alone, test your heart out, you know, see what's the content of your heart and your mind. And then when it's time for you to fly the coop, or when it's time for you to fly, you know, you got to do that. You got to fly. So that's what we ain't doing over here. You know, we say we believe in a God or Jehovah or whatever you want to name you want to give him, Jesus. And we looking for him to come back and save us. But that's been 2,000 years you've been looking for him to come back. And you think that when you die, you're going to go to heaven. And you can do anything you want to do, unrighteous, immoral acts, but you are forgiven because Jesus died for your sins. That's what you think. That's a lie. You know, white man got you thinking like that. He the one that raised you into thinking like that. And it's going against your nature. So you're going out your mind. Have you forgotten that once we were brought here, we were lost our everything, even our minds. We lost our names, our culture, the knowledge of God, the knowledge of ourselves, and we lost our minds. So they over there in Chicago, they're going wherever you at, you know, what's going on is going to get to some people can't handle it. A lot of y'all ain't going to be able to handle it, you know. But the news, the media, you know, want you to think that everything gonna be all right. But you can't do wrong and unrighteousness for all this time, and it's not gonna be no repercussions behind it. You know, it's whatever you done, it's gonna come back on you like a boomerang, and you got to pay the price. But the black man, let me tell you something. The way that we were kidnapped and then forced into slavery, and we was forced to speak the language of the white man. We couldn't read. We were made deaf, dumb, and blind. If you got caught reading a book, they'll kill you. So Allah, the reason why he ain't took the white man off the planet, he given us a chance to come into the knowledge of ourselves. So he forgave all our sins. So Farrakhan was wrong When he gave the Million Man March, it was a good idea. But when we got there, he started talking about atonement. Evidently, he didn't listen to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach. He said, Master Farad Muhammad, Allah and the person Master Farad Muhammad, taught him that when Allah came, Master Farad came in 1930, he said, he gave us the history of ourselves and said we are forgiven because we were forced into the mindset. We were force fed the mind of the devil. And Allah called him the devil. Some of you, y'all getting upset. Some of y'all don't want to be children, the chosen children of God. Now, you're not, Farrakhan was talking about you're the real Israelites. Now, how it really goes is this, that the Israelites replaced us with himself. Because it's talking about us over here in America for 400 years. That's what the scriptures are talking about. Both the Quran and the Bible and the Torah. But we're not the children of Israel. That's the children of Israel is the Caucasian. Because he the one that made the devil. But the Bible put Israel on us and the Jews on us. Now we Muslims, man. So I told you in my last video that everything was made in divine order. That's peace. That's what Islam means. Everything has a law. So we was made in divine law and order. That's Islam. Now that's a science, a mathematical equation. So Allah tacked the religion onto it. See, religion got that word R-E in it. That usually means repeat. Repeat, revitalize, recycle, rely every day. So we are living a life of righteousness every day. That's what religion really means. But you listen to the white man, he breaks off religion and sex. Because right about now, he don't want you to have no religion no more. He don't want you to be a Christian no more. He don't want you to believe in God no more. He wants you to believe in him. He wants you to believe that he's going to save you by conning you. He has no power over you. He got a con game that you fall for, and that's the only power of persuasion. He got a power of persuasion over you, and he entices you with a certain mindset, and by you being weak, you fall for it. My last video, I was talking about birth, how you reproduce yourself. Now check this out. Millions of sperms are propelled from the man, penetrates the woman, but only one, on the average, only one sperm breaks through. He got to go, that one sperm goes through obstacles before he reached the egg, the ovaries. And the rest of them, they didn't have the willpower to overcome those obstacles. But when a man wants to reproduce himself, he has intimacy with a woman, and you're supposed to be married. You know, sex shouldn't be a commodity or a recreation. Sex should be sacred. And it shouldn't be all the time. It should be at a certain prescribed time. You know, and you could be intimate, you know, but when you want to reproduce yourself, you know, you don't kill the seed, because you reproducing life, man, reproducing yourself. And the white man in his society, he don't think like that. He want to give abortions, man. He wants you to wear protections. Just have sex anytime. Walking down the street, duck into an alley, have sex. Backseat of a car, have sex. All his movies, you know, he just meet the girl or the woman. And within an hour, they up in the bedroom, knocking boots, bumping and grinding, jumping up and down. You know what I'm saying? Wasting his life. You see? But you don't look at it like that. We was taught to be like that. But when they were over here in America killing up the Indians, or over here exploring America, what was we doing before they brought us over here as slaves? What was the Indian doing before Columbus and his boys came over here? You know, they were doing their thing, right? We was doing our thing. He comes over here to the wilderness of North America, get friendly with the Indians so he could stab them in the back later. Then goes and get over to Africa, you know, get friendly. You know, John Hawkins stayed over in Africa when he was commissioned to go to Africa and see how we do our thing over in Africa, how we live over there. And once he found out that he could con us, because we were naive to lies. You know, our word was our bond. And we didn't sign no contracts or nothing. Our word was our bond. We didn't have whole houses. We didn't have the local bar or the local saloon where you could go and get a drink. You know, in those villages, You know, it wasn't no prostitution going on, you know, and we was in a entirely different frame of mind. You know, we was in a entirely different frame of mind. And we were very, very intelligent, you know. Now, the tribe of Shabazz, they were the first to come over here in 1555, was kidnapped by John Hawkins. He brought us over here in 1555. That's when the process began to break us down into slaves, permanent slaves. Now, he knew that we were very intelligent. Now, Shabazz is right around Ethiopian, Egypt. You know, Egypt was vast, you know. And so you say, well, nah. See, y'all looking at them Tarzan movies, and you know, he got them in huts, you know, and Tarzan's living with the apes, but he's smarter than us, than the African, you know, and smarter than the Asiatic black man, the original man. He's smarter than us, and you believe it because he don't show you or tell you about the pyramids. It's in Africa. You think the pyramids is in a whole new place, but he marvels at how those pyramids were built. You know, mathematics, man, sacred mathematics. You know, and he say that those ancient ones wasn't black, you know. But it's all kind of artifacts to show that they were black, but he got them covered up, hidden. Some of it's in museums, but a lot of it, you know, is over there in the Vatican with the Pope in the basement. You know, they got a school over there, Ethiopian educational spot center over there in the Vatican. Did y'all know that? Ethiopian over there in Rome. Man, y'all, they don't want you to know this. That's probably why they're not letting y'all know that I'm live. But I'm going to post this video, and you'll get it one way or the other. You know, you'll get it one way or the other. Now, all what I'm telling you, you can find this out. You know, you can research it and find it out. Now, I'm going to give this to you one more time. Now, look here. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go to Revelations 14, chapter 14. And I'm going to read it to you. And I, looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion. That's the only boy Elijah Muhammad, that lamb. Take it or leave it. And with him and 144,000 having his father's name written in their foreheads. I want you to understand that means you got to get your original names back. Your father's names. You got to get your father's name, which is Allah. Allah got 99 names, which are attributes. And of a man. Man means mind. You are the universe, black man and black woman, wrapped in flesh. You are from the divine law and order. You know, you all law. And it's time for you to wake up, man. Face the truth. So you can live, brothers and sisters. So my duty is to unite my people and protect the women and children of my nation. Can you imagine how them brothers over there in Palestine, in the Gaza, they couldn't protect they couldn't protect they women and children, man. As a man, can you imagine how they feeling? They broken, man. You know, they and in front of the whole planet, man, they trying to wipe those people off the planet Earth. And the United States is cheering them on. And they want to fight Iran. And the Israelites talking about anti-Semitic. Think everybody's stupid. Know what that word Semitic means? Now, let me tell y'all this too, man. They playing the bully game. Bully. They want to bully, put fear in you. And when I was going to school, this is one of my instructors right here. He wrote this book right here. His name is Kandi Baba Kumasi, PhD. He was the teacher over at Wayne County Community College and over at Wayne State University. And he was an English teacher, man. And he wrote this book, Down the Nile. See? When I was going to Wayne County Community College, all we had was black-minded revolutionary brothers and sisters. Some of them were Muslims, some of them were nationalists, you know. But I was in his class, and they would go, him and this brother here, and the art teacher, they would go over to Egypt, over to Nubia, and every year. And they wanted to get a class going where we all go, but I couldn't go because I had a family, you know, and I had to put some bread on the table, you know what I'm saying? But I was going to school. I got confirmation while I was going to Wayne County Community College. At that time, that was back in the 80s, middle to late 80s. I graduated in the 90s. It was the early 90s, around 90, 91, something like that. And I started comparing the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I took up biology, archaeology, mass media, English and math and all the rest of that stuff. And I did pretty good. But that's why I found out that about the black gene and the brown gene. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad called them germs, the black germ and the brown germ. Well, we were studying Mendel, and we were talking about how every now and then you might have a bunch of flowers, red flowers, and every other generation a white flower will pop up. And I said, oh man, that's just what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching. And we got a black germ and a brown germ. So now he would call it, my instructor would call it the dominant gene and the recessive gene. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad would call it the black germ and the brown germ. Just different terminology, meaning the same thing. And after that, after I found out how they were using different kind of jargon, different kind of jargon, I found out that each profession has a jargon, that word jargon. Look that word up. The doctors have their own jargon, and the lawyers have a jargon, what they call legalese. And this is how they fool the black man. So each profession got a language of its own. Science got a language of its own. They usually use Greek terminology. Which is a Caucasian language. It comes out of our language, the original Asiatic black man's language. It comes out of that. But they could twist it around, see? So once I found out that each profession got their own language or their own jargon, look that word up. And you see what I'm talking about, jargon. When Elijah Muhammad was saying germ, the brown germ and the black germ, they no longer use that word in the dictionary, germ. They use genes now. So I started proving Donald Elijah Muhammad within myself. A lot of brothers didn't, they didn't do it, but I did it since I went to school. I really went to take up mass media. I want to get into the broadcasting business. But when I found out that what I wanted to say, they weren't going to let me say it. I wasn't gonna never get hired. What I wanted to say, man, because I was gonna spit the truth. And so back in those days, though, it was black people had in Detroit had radio and television stations. That's no longer the case, you know. And those people over in Palestine, they lost the ability to do for self. Just like we over here, black men over here in America, we can't do for self. We got to go. You can't hardly go to the white man, to the black man and get a job. You can't get a job now. It's few, but everything we get and we do for the white man. So let me ask you something, black man. Y'all want who the hip hop gang, the hip hop industry. Y'all use microphones, but y'all don't make them. Y'all use recording equipment, but y'all don't make it. Y'all can get labels, but can y'all get distribution? Y'all could even get publishing. Can y'all get distribution? Now, Akon, he over there in Africa, trying to build up Africa. And y'all don't want to get with the brother. But that's your distribution point in Africa. You get with him, and from Africa, you can get distribution over in Europe. At a different, just like they got BRICS, using a different economic system, where you can get a different distribution system through Akon. And there's some more brothers over there you can get with for distribution. Y'all don't need him, but that's what's messing us up. We don't want to get with each other. Just like Al Sharpton, he got a lucrative business. So does Minister Farrakhan and Nation of Islam. And they pulling in some money from the believers and the congregation. What happened if they pull their resources together to stop buying up land, cities and stuff? Between the NAACP, Al Sharpton, and his, what's the name of his organization? I forgot now. And the Nation of Islam, and the Urban League, have y'all ever thought about pulling y'all money together, and stop voting for Democratic or Republican, and just pull y'all resources together? Just go local. Maybe you can go local, have a local government, and but as far as the presidential race concerned, drop out. Because you got two crooks running for the presidency. You got two crooks. That could be one reason why they doing all this war talk, because they're trying to cover up their crimes. And if you think about what's going on, you'll forget about them. You forget about Biden and Trump being crooks. The whole Congress is crooks. Yeah, I said it. Like I started to say about bullies, man. When I was going to school, they had gangs. One time I was, well, I told you about me standing in line we was in the lunch, going to lunch. I was real little then, man. I was like, uh, maybe 5, maybe 7, something like that, 6 or 7. And these guys was shaking down the line, and they didn't shake me down though, because I bust them in their mouth. But he took cuts in front of me, and I grabbed him by his collar and pulled him back towards me and started wailing on his face. And the teacher seen me. And I remember another time, and they had a gang in the. We was going to the show. I was spending the summer over my grandmama's crib, and went to the show. We stood in line. Back then, when I was coming up, you could go to the show and see about 10 movies, man, for a quarter. Yeah, you can see about 10 cartoons. You can see 2 major features, but you got to go to the matinee, and you can see they had chapter movies back then. And anyway, I was standing in line, man, and they had a gang called the Shakers. What they do is shake people down. But the Shakers had their little brothers, and they called them the Baby Shakers. And so the Baby Shakers came up to the show where we was at. I was real young. I was about 8, and they got to me, and they said, give it up. I put my hands in my pocket, and I wouldn't give it up. And we got the scuffling and stuff, man. Then the owners of the show came out, and they checked them. But they came up to me and said, man, you kind of got some heart, man. You want to be part of us? I said, no, man. That happened to me a couple of times, man. Some guys wanted me to be a part of their crew. But I always been a kind of like a lone wolf type of guy. But I did organize two gangs, but I didn't call them a gang. I called them an organization. I had a different kind of mindset than everybody else. Maybe that's because I was born into the Nation of Islam. But anyway, I wasn't the following type. To see, and that's what Young Elijah Muhammad told the believers. He said, I didn't raise you up to be followers. I raised you up to be leaders. So most of them were followers, though. Just like y'all are, that ain't in the Nation of Islam. Y'all followers. Y'all not leaders. So you in the same shape, but you don't know it, as over in Palestine. They cut off their water. They cut off their food supply. We're in the ghetto. Since you don't do nothing for self, you got the Chaldeans and the so-called Middle Easterners and the Arabs running your stores now when you used to run them yourself. Only thing we got is beauty parlors and barbershops, and maybe some clubs, some few lounges and bars, a few restaurants. But everybody go and get that Chinese food. Everybody get that pizza, Italian, you know. Then you go and get those pig feet, collard greens, and think that's, you know, because you was raised on that in slavery, you know. And we don't do for self no more. So anytime they want to, they could cut off the water supply, the electricity, the food supply, you know, the clothes, the medical, you know. Used to have, we used to have clinics in every neighborhood, walk-in clinics. When I was a young man, teenager, and the black doctor used to be in the hood. The black lawyer used to be in the hood. The black doctor be over a storefront. But I know a black doctor who was right in the hood. You know, that's no more. Most of them go to the hospitals, or you know, big pharma got them controlled now. When y'all in church, man, y'all ever think about pulling y'all resources together and buying up houses, land, and stuff for the congregation? You ever think about that? Y'all divided. Now the white man divided. He got different denominations: Baptists, Pentecostals, Seventh-day Adventists. You know, and you do the same thing. You know, long as he keep y'all divided, you know, y'all gonna be dependent on him. But soon as I know a church that's got about 3 or 4 different churches renting out at the same time. They don't never think about pulling their resources together, but they all rent from the same building. You know, if they pull their resources together, you know, they'll have over $1 million. It'd be over $1 million a week, or well, maybe not a week, but a month. Yeah, I say about a month. You know, if they pull their resources, intensify their resources. If 2 churches, black churches in the same neighborhood, pull their resources together and keep the money within the church, within their neighborhood, and buy up lots, vacant lots, and land and stuff like that. What the church do with the money that you give it? What? Feed a few homeless people? You know. What's gonna happen when they stop shipping food you know, they got food deserts right now. They gotta go to the suburbs to the supermarkets to get food. You know. But what you gonna do when the trucks can't afford to roll no more because gas prices are so high? You got a whole block where there used to be houses, and they leveled the houses and turned them into lots, just sitting up there. Y'all can farm that and get a greenhouse and some a generator for the wintertime, you know. And if each church and each hood unite together and buy up some of them buildings and repair them to house some of those homeless people, you know, y'all just get the tools and the lumber to house the people, let them fix it up. Because you know, in the church, you got old construction workers, old contractors, and you know, that know how to build houses, and old landscapers and electricians. And y'all can teach that right in the church to them young ones, you know. But they won't do it, man. You know, y'all won't do that. Y'all won't do nothing like that. You won't do for self. So that's why the Israelis knocking off the Palestinians, man, because they can't do for themselves. Now, if the United States government ain't got them many jobs, they ain't got them many jobs to offer. They only got a certain amount of jobs they can give out. And you study having babies, and they study trying to kill your babies. You know, they inventing diseases, weaponizing diseases on you, so they can knock off half the. That's what they talking about, overpopulation. They talking about overpopulation because they want you to depend on them, you know, and it's too many depending on them. They're gonna knock you off, man. They're gonna bump you off. You know, they just want a certain amount of people depending on them. They don't need you if you don't know how to take care of yourself and you waiting for handouts. Ain't this what Elijah was telling you? Now who messed that plan up? What Elijah was doing. I want y'all to get Savior's Day 1974. See how he was coming along. Now, it's kind of strange to me though. Now, Farrakhan say that he's still alive, that his funeral was a hoax. Who am I to say Farrakhan is lying? Well, the Supreme Minister John Muhammad, that's the blood brother, spiritual and blood brother of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, told us that his brother is dead. You know. And he said he went to the hospital and seen him just before he died. You know. And he said he did. Now he wouldn't know. But say we don't trust that. Say he lying. Just say we don't trust it. Then you're gonna say, well, why would Allah let him die? I'm gonna tell you why. If that's the case. Now don't quote me. This is just my opinion, my theory. Why did Allah let Wharf D. Muhammad take over and mess it up, sell all the farms and stuff? Because this is the day of separation, right? He got the goats on the left hand and the sheep on the right hand. So he's trying to find out, you know, who's going to be a part of that 144,000. You don't want no weak, scary people to be in that 144,000. So just like Farrakhan was talking about, he was Peter, and he denied Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You know, he did. He admitted that himself. So if that's the deal, why is he still? He's almost 90 years old. I mean, he's 90 years old, and he looked pretty good to be 90 years old. You know, I can't condemn him because he kept the name, the Nation of Islam, and basically he got the FOI and whatever. But he's not lead. He didn't lead by example. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the one that he was the master teacher, and by him building up the Nation of Islam to where they could have farms in a couple of states, maybe four or five states, they had farms, they had trucks, they had airplanes. Now we're supposed to follow that lead. So when Wharf Dean came and, you know, broke it up and sold everything, it was a split. And they were calling themselves Balalians. And then Farrakhan was with him. Then Farrakhan left, tried to rebuild the Nation of Islam where it was. Farrakhan went and got some farms and stuff like that. But you don't have them now. You might have one farm up here in Michigan. You know, he don't have them now though. Why is that? So this is all to see that if you're going to follow or if you're going to lead, you're going to be strong for Allah or if you're going to be weak. And I believe that's what's happening now. When he said, come out of her, if your mind ain't on Allah, now if you will get one of Allah's name, you know your mind is on, you know, every time you say your name, you saying Allah. You know, if you get one of his names, every time you say Rahman, that's Allah. That's one of his names. So your mind got to be on him to say the name. And in the name, you got vibrations. You know, words have vibrations to them, frequencies. And you be in that God zone. Now, a whole lot of brothers just got named to get out of jail with. And once they got the name, they use their name in vain. You know, well, you're going to be dealt with in a certain way, you know. But if you do what Master Farad say do when he made you a FOI, and you say, I am an FOI soldier in the Nation of Islam, my duty is to unite my people. Well, guess what you will be about? Protecting the women and children of the nation, of your nation. Now, Farrakhan is right in Chicago with the FOI. That's supposed to be the most peaceful city in the world. Well, why is it not? Think about that. So, this is my take on it. All that happened to see who was going to take up what Nabi Elijah Muhammad left off at. No one did it. Farrakhan tried, but he couldn't do it. He tried, but he couldn't do it. Because the way things are now, if he would have had those farms, you know, eating healthy, everybody eating healthy now. Everybody eating, you know, the devil is eating one time a day now, how to eat to live. But he's still eating pig though. But you know what he's trying to do now? The devil trying to get you to eat worms, man. Insects and stuff. Well, in the Bible, there's certain insects you could eat in the Bible. I don't know. I wouldn't trust that because I don't know if the devil put that in there or not. But they got certain things that you can eat in the Bible, you know, and they say definitely don't eat that pig, you know. You don't really supposed to be eating chicken, you know. But Don Elijah Muhammad said, well, if you raise the chicken a certain way, clean, because he said a chicken will eat anything too. But if you raise them to eat, you know, they eat their own dung, man. Chickens eat their doo-doo. So if you raise them a certain way, where they, you know, keep their cage clean or however they do it, that he's okay, you know. And the same with sheep. Sheep is clean animal, you know. But the goat ain't clean. And the goat is a terrorizer, you know. And so Allah, as an allegory, is using the goat on his left hand. The goat represents the devil and those who follow the devil's advocates, and all y'all demons. On the right hand is the sheep, you know. So you don't have to take my word for it. Go to the Bible and you'll see. Preacher don't never talk about that though. You know, preacher don't never talk about the homosexual. And the Bible said the homosexual should be murdered. He should be killed because it's abomination. Why? Because two men can't produce life, can't reproduce life. They're going to put their sperm in the buttocks, you know, or they're going to swallow it of a male. Wasting life, man. That's not in divine order. You know, that's not the divine law and order that you're supposed to be in. That's why you don't need to vote. Because they done broke all of the divine law and order of the Most High, Allah, the Creator. They done broke all of that. You know, they passed laws where two males could marry and two females could marry each other, and then go and adopt a child. Man, that's crazy, man. See, y'all, the devil done lost his mind, and he's making you follow him so you lose your mind. Now, if you don't follow him, he'll cut your money supply off, or he'll get rid of you, right? I mean, that's what he got about ready to do when he come up with this card. When he come up with this card and this chip, you know, he can govern, take your money out. If you owe somebody, you might owe a car note. And you say, well, I ain't gonna pay the car note. I gotta pay something else. He gonna take all your money, whoever you owe, out your check. Because really, the Federal Reserve owns every business it is. Just like if you got a business, say you open up a donut shop, and you got to get some money. Now, who print the money up? You got to go to the bank, but who print the money up? The Federal Reserve print the money. And it says a Federal Reserve note. It's not backed by no gold or nothing. It's just a piece of paper, man, with his picture on it. So you go and get some money, you go and get this play money and open up a business, but he takes out taxes. You gotta, if you got employees, you gotta pay him to have employees. The building that you got from it, that you got your business in, you gotta pay property taxes on. Then you gotta pay some money for your license to operate. You might as well say taxes to operate. And then now that Federal Reserve note got interest tacked onto it, because you don't forget, the Congress owe the Federal Reserve trillions and trillions of dollars. The Federal Reserve is where they go to if they want to have a war, you know. And who's in the organization of the Federal Reserve? All your manufacturers, all these big companies, you know. And when you bail them out, you know, they taking your tax money, and you bailing out the car industry, you know. But you can't get no bailout. We can't get it, man. We can't get no bailouts. Because the Illuminati is loyal to no country or no man, but they own the clique, they own the group, you know. They got circles within circles, names within names. But at the top, it's the Rothschilds, man. That's all it is to that. Now, who they supposed to be? They supposed to be Semitic, right? They got y'all scared to say certain things. Semitic, or something like that. They got y'all. They got y'all scared of them, man. They bullies. They the type of guys be on the playground, going around, bumping into people. All right, give me your money, your lunch money. You know, big old dude. Well, I'm gonna tell you what I did, man. When I was coming up, like especially when I was coming into my teenage years, I was about 11 or 12, maybe 13. I kind of ran by myself a little bit, and but every now and then, it'd be somebody from across the tracks, a gang or something, that come over to the hood, and I might run into them. So it was a whole bunch of gangs, but every time I look around at the leader of the gang be a little cat. You know what I mean? Not, he be either average size guy or a little guy. Average size is 5'10", or he might be 5'8", But he be rough, man. He be a bad little dude. So it's just one guy, he stayed across the tracks, but I don't know, we took a liking to each other. And he wanted me to run with him. He said, man, I got to go across the bridge, the expressway. He said, I got to go over there and take care of some business, man. And, it's just me by myself. And I'm supposed to meet up with this cat. He said, nah. I'm nothing but about 5'10". And, I never did weigh that much. But I can hit pretty hard. So he said, he gonna have this big dude with him. Now the big dude, he was a big dude. He's about 6 feet, maybe 6'1". And he say, I want you to walk up to him and crack him. So he said, this is psychology right here. He was giving me psychology. He said, they're not going to expect you to do that. You walk up to him and hit him, and, they're not going to expect you to do it. So I walked to the guy and busted him. And he froze. The big dude froze. That's some psychology right there. Because big people, a lot of them rely on their size. They don't, a lot of them don't have no skills. But by me being born in the Nation of Islam, and my uncle taught me a whole lot when I was outside of the nation. My mother took me out. He taught me how you could roll up a magazine, like an ebony magazine, real tight. And you could break a dude's nose like that. He taught me a whole lot of little tricks. My old man, he used to box, so he really schooled me in boxing. See, my old man never left the crib, He stayed till an old man, till he died, And so, then I had uncles, man. I had 2 uncles that were straight up gangsters, and an uncle that was a FOI. Then I had a cousin in St. Louis who was a bad dude. So I had a whole bunch of, strong men around me and strong women. And they were from St. Louis, Missouri. My mother was from St. Louis, Missouri. My father was from Little Rock, Arkansas, or somewhere around there. So they were pretty hard, but they wasn't up on the white man though. The game he was running, they didn't get hip to the game, that he was running. My mama, she was in the nation, like I said, but she didn't trust it. But I did. So I've been online for a minute. Ain't nobody coming in the room, and I think I'm gonna get on out of here. Until next time. I'm trying to get you up on what I'm trying to do is get that fear out you. Allah will serve you more if you cling to the truth more, understand the truth more. What stops you from us as a people from uniting, coming together on truth and understanding is you scared. You scared you really don't trust Allah. You say you believe in Jesus, but you don't trust Jesus. You don't trust him. Jesus wasn't no scary guy. He was a revolutionary, because he said what he said. And wasn't none of the prophets scary. But y'all are. You was made that way when they brought us over here to be slaves. So you got to understand what's getting ready to happen to you. The Palestinians is a wake-up call. So the bully of the planet, the Caucasian, he more scared than you. He's scared that you're gonna wake up to the truth, but he know who you are. He know you the direct descendant of the Creator. He know that. He know that he ain't a direct descendant. He's so far removed. You say, "Oh, that can't be true." I mean, think about it. We could produce the blackest of black to an albino. So it ain't far-fetched what I'm saying. You could look in your own family and see one lighter than the other. And if you isolate the black one after they had a baby, isolate the black one, and keep marrying the light onto the lighter one, until you could get white. So he's like bleached out, man. All the color gone. Why you think we got color? Or hue? Why you think we got melanin? Why you think that? And they don't. It's a whole Israel up there in Europe. They saying they Semitic. Before I go, I'm gonna run this on you. When up in Detroit, man, I don't know if it was the time that I came up in the 60s, where the Panthers, you know, in Detroit, we had the Panthers. Uh, we had a whole bunch of, different nationalist groups up here, the Nation of Islam or whatever, started here. And we just didn't have no fear of the white man. We used to go to the state fair, and they tried to stop us from going to the state fair. Used to be little riots at the state fair, you know. When I first went to Mumford, it was a motorcycle gang that didn't even go to school. Now, these grown men that blocked the entrance for us to go. And I seen the principal, the white teachers and stuff, they was looking behind the door, and they was behind the door, and the motorcycle gang was outside in front, blocking the pathway to go in the school. And it was a handful of us. I say maybe about, at the most, maybe about 5 of us. And it was a whole motorcycle gang. Grown men. We teenagers. They're grown men. But some more brothers came from 8 Mile. They lived in Ferndale, in the projects in Ferndale, and they had to go to Mumford too. And they met up with us. Now, I wasn't up. 8 Mile ain't that far from Mumford. Mumford was on Wyoming between Curtis. Then after Curtis comes 7 Mile and 8 Mile. You know, and so they didn't have far to go to get help. And they went and got some brothers that didn't go to school. Like the motorcycle gang didn't go to school. And we met up there and we went to school. Now at Mumford is where we had clashes with the police. At Mumford is where we was turning over police cars. But before that, before I went to Mumford, I went to Post Junior High. Now, it was a school called Fitzgerald in back of Post Junior High. It was a school for the handicapped. Stevie Wonder went to that school in back of me. Stevie Wonder used to come to the barbershop, same barbershop, get his hair cut. Stevie Wonder used to live over there on 24th, it was 24th, not 24th, but Roosevelt, somewhere around there, And anyway, at Post Junior High School, a black couple moved across the street and they burnt the cross. And then the next day, now these wasn't no motorcycle gang. This was a hot rod gang of teenagers. The next day, one of them was bragging about it in the lunchroom. And there wasn't that many blacks going to that school. It was me, a couple more. But I overheard him bragging about it. And he had, he was bragging it to his boys. We was in the lunchroom. And so I sat at another table, but it was across from them. And I was just listening to him brag, And I was eating my lunch by myself. And I say, I'm gonna bust this dude in his face. I'm gonna wait. I know how he went to school. I know how he went to class. So I waited for him. And he came around the corner. He left his boys off a ways back. They left and went their way. and he was walking by himself. So I reached around the corner, grabbed him, threw him in the lockers, and I didn't hit him, you know. But he froze in his clothes. He got scared, you know. I said, yeah, man, I heard you bragging, you know, and so forth, and your ass is grass, you know. So I didn't know that his old man was a detective. And I'm up in the classroom, you know, and over the loudspeaker, they told me to come down to the counselor. So I just thought maybe my counselor just wanted, you know, I thought I knew that he was going to be there, but it wasn't him. It was his old man. His old man was a detective. I came in the counselor's office, and it was this big old white detective sitting up there, and he told me, you threatened my son. I said, no, I didn't. You know, he said, yes, you did. You know, so he said he grabbed he had a rubber hose with him. That's what they used to be. That's what they used to beat black people with. I'm not gonna use that word, nigga. That's what they used to beat us with back in the day. And he hit it on the desk. Ah! He said, "Now I ain't gonna hit you with this rubber hose because it's gonna leave a mark." So he grabbed a phone book. Now he a big cat now. His hands was big like King Kong's hand. And he rolled the phone book up. He said, "I'm gonna hit you with this, won't leave no marks." Boom. So I said, "If you hit me with that," I said, "My old man is a very influential person in the black community. We would get lawyers, you know, and you would be sued." My old man worked out at Chrysler. Anyway, he said, "If you touch one hair of my son's head, you better pray that don't nothing happen. He better not fall down or nothing, slip on banana peel or nothing. I'm gonna hold you accountable." So I went, you know, I got the word out to those guys who didn't go to school that I knew. And they came up to the school the next day. About 100. About 100 of them came up there. Some of them went to other schools like Northern and Central and Northwestern. They came up there at Post. They had the whole school surrounded, and they walked me home. It was so many that the police came. But they didn't send but about, it wasn't but about 2 cars, 1 or 2 cars, you know. So they, so we come from school. But half of them guys didn't go to school, you know. My word is my bond. So anyway, we had classes with the police. We weren't scared of the police. But that was back in the 60s. Since then, you know, y'all been tamed down a little bit. But like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, that if the white man don't submit to freedom, justice, and equality, that the black man will clash with him. That's what he's getting ready to do now. So that's why he brought the immigrants over here as a distraction from all the corruption that Donald Trump is doing, all the corruption that the Bidens are doing, that the Congress is doing. The Congress has sold its own people out. You see, the Israelis, the Israel killed some of their own people. They killed some of those peaceful Jews over there. That was, because some of those Jews and Christians and Muslims were in the Gaza Strip side by side. And they bombed the hell out of them. Because the Zionists, is kind of a different breed than the Jews. So I can't say that all the Jews is like the Zionists, but they can't stop nothing, because they got the military, But back in the day, when I was coming up, we used to bust caps at them, but we ain't had the kind of ammunition they had or the kind of guns they have. And now, now they got crazy guns, not technology now. You see? So that's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say, the only one can defeat them is Allah. So you got to be on a certain vibration with Allah. So I want to advocate us going up against or attacking the Caucasian. But if he attacks you, better fight like hell. Take some of them with you. I had to fight a lot. I had to fight them and my own people back in the day. I remember it was a job. I was older, in my 20s, and me and my partner had a job offer at an auto plant in the suburbs, because after the riots came, the white people moved their jobs out in the suburbs, and we had to take 2 or 3 buses to get out there. And you have to go to you had to go through a neighborhood, to get to the bus exchange. And we was walking down the street. We heard someone say, "Boom!" hitting the tree limbs. Pow! Hitting the ting, bouncing off of concrete. I say, somebody's shooting at us. So I said, no, don't run, man. I told my boy, I said, man, don't run. I say, stand still. I said, because they'll say we was trying to break in or something. So I'm saying, I'm going to see, can I locate him? So we went behind a tree, and I seen him. And he had a rifle, and he was shooting at us, and then he'd duck back in the house. Shoot out the door, had a screen door, shoot, bam, then duck back in the house. So I said, ain't nothing we can do about that. So he shot at us, but he didn't hit us. And I'm just letting you know how they are. So we had to go to work out there, though. So we went, we went to work. We got a job. We got hired. It was at a Chrysler plant way out. I think it was Livonia. Back in those days, Livonia was far away from where we was at. And we was way out in Livonia, man, and that's where they was shooting at us at. Bunch of racists out there, man. And I think they done tamed down now and got rid of, because a bunch of Middle Easterners moved out there and Livonia. So these Peckerwoods, these crackers, they just kind of can't, they just can't calm down, a little bit, so but when I was coming up, man, I had to fight them. I had to knock a few of them out, a couple of my boys was beating up on them and stabbed a few of them and went to jail, So this is Black Light letting you know what's getting ready to happen. And like I say, man, if come down to them, the National Guard or whatever, making you take it's going to be mandatory for you to probably take a vaccination now, or they probably put you in quarantine or something, unless you realize that Allah is in your DNA. And we can't just let them roll over us like that. You got to show them what you're made of. Show them what you got. Let them know who your father is. But know this, Allah take care of for you. But you got to be true to the cause. And all y'all brothers that want to soldier up with me, if you ain't working for him, and oh yeah, one more thing I want to say. All you brothers that work for the FBI and the CIA, he don't trust you. He using you. He's using you against your own self, against your own people. See, it's one thing different that a traitor in the white race is different than you, because they could change their name and blend in to them. They don't, by them being the same color, white, It's hard for them to distinguish who the enemy is or not. But he can recognize you by your color, so you automatically an enemy. But he'll pretend to you like, you know, these guys are terrorists. These guys are traitors to America. So they bad guys. So I want you to go and snitch on them, and if you can, kill them. So a lot of y'all do that, and they pay you a whole lot of money. But he don't trust you, because he's saying to himself, if you is a traitor to your own people, your own kind, you know, if you're a traitor to the black man, you'll be quick to be a traitor, you know, or a backstabber for me. So he'll string you along and let you go and kill your brother, you know, give him dope or whatever. But then, after you done did all that, he'll get rid of you. You know? He'll get rid of you. He don't need you around because he got to watch his back all the time. Now, that's common sense right there. You see what I'm saying? That's common sense, man. So all you brothers, you know, that's snitching on your people and don't want to unite with your brother, that's because you hate yourself. You see what I'm saying? Now ain't this is common sense. Your color will give you away. The white man, all he got to do is change his name, like Russia, like the Russians. They could come over here. He could change his name, come over here, blend on in, and be an enemy. But a black man, they're going to be watching you if you come over here. If you don't trust you, he may smile at you, make you think you down with him, but no. And if he turn you against your own people, he said, if you go against your own family, you know, I know you'll go against me. That makes sense, huh? See, when I talk, I ain't talking against, I'm not talking about what Suge Knight do. I'm not talking about what's that guy named Poppy do. I'm not talking about what you know, I'm not gonna make no long conversation about what they do because I know that they programmed and brainwashed. Their minds messed up. I'm telling you what your enemy is doing to you. You know, what your enemy is doing to you right now. You know, you're not in his best interest. And you can see this. You see what they're doing in New York. You see all the veterans that went, fought a war, and got maimed and crippled, came back, their minds got crippled, came back, they on the streets, homeless, you know. They're going up on the prices. You see that, don't you? What can you do about it? Unite with those who want to unite with you.
The faces off with Iran-Contra investigators and often
I'm not going to tell falsehoods to the American people. I'll leave that to others. I'll leave that to others. I'll leave that to others.
The biggest unanswered question is, where is the money? The biggest unanswered question is, where is the money?
I'm Black Light, telling the truth and passing the mic. I'm out. I gotta find how to get out of here now. This old man trying to work this. Y'all young bloods, stay with me for a minute. Let's see. Let's try this. Man, why can't I